Hey everybody, Mike Breeze here, and if you're tired of trying to handle objections, well, I'm going to show you 4 words today that's going to help you out tremendously. Stick around. Okay, so if you are in network marketing, more than likely at some point you're going to get an objection, and lots of them. What happens is we start trying to answer the objections, and a lot of times we get very defensive. An example, if somebody says, "Is this a pyramid scheme?" and I can actually sense some of your blood is already starting to boil. You're like, "It's not a pyramid scheme," but we hear that all the time. It's an objection. I'm going to challenge you to stop answering objections. Just stop. Don't try to answer objections, because you're going to get in an argument every time. And what happens is when we say something as a network marketer to the prospect or the person that we're introducing it to, using our words, we're painting a picture in their mind, and depending on what that picture is, it may be a good picture, it may not be. So a lot of times I'll hear, "Well, I'm not a salesman." Well, in their mind, they may think a salesman is the greasy, dirty car salesman that, kind of the stereotypical bad guy, if you will. And I know a lot of great car salesmen, so don't start texting me or calling me. Know a lot of great ones. But that's the picture they have in their mind. To where when we think of a salesman, we think of somebody very professional, somebody that's not pushy, just offering them, an opportunity, and it's up to them whether they take it or not. Make no mistake, what we do is sales. So how do we deal with objections? Well, like I said, let's stop dealing with them. And how do we do that? We start asking more questions. So if somebody throws out an objection, the 4 words I love to use over and over and over is, "How do you mean?" So if somebody says, "Well, is this one of those pyramid things?" Well, how do you mean? I want to have a clear idea of what the picture is in their mind, what they think, before I even begin to try to explain or answer that. I hope that makes sense. What happens a lot of times is they say something and we jump in there and try to answer it immediately. And then we get in this argument, and then sometimes we lose a friend over it. And it's ridiculous because we didn't know where they're coming from. They didn't know where we're coming from. It's a miscommunication. Most of the world problems today is based, I think, on miscommunication. So let's just dig a little bit deeper and say, well, how do you mean? Once they start explaining it, then that gives us a good idea of what their picture is and how we can approach that objection that we just turned into basically a question. So I'll give you another example of not having enough information and jumping right in there really quick. If I was driving through your town right now and I called you up and I said, "Hey, my wife and I are driving through your town. We're getting kind of hungry. Where do you recommend us eating?" I promise you, most of you would give me a recommendation that quick. I mean, seriously, you'd be like, "Oh, you've got to try this one place." And let's just say Abuelos. I love Abuelos. And you say, "Oh, you got to try Abuelos. It's really good. They give you 3 different sauces. Then you get a free supple at the end of it. Great atmosphere. I mean, the food's amazing. Blah, 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 blah." Okay, well, that's what most of you would do. Here's the problem. You don't know anything except I'm hungry. That's all that you know. That's it. You don't know if I even like Mexican food. You don't know if I'm in a hurry and I just want to go through a drive-through real quick. Maybe I do want to sit down somewhere. So there's other things you need to ask before really throwing out an answer. And so be cautious. So if I said, "Hey, we're driving through your town, where do you recommend eating?" You may say, well, I don't know. What kind of food do you like?" "Well, I really like Italian food. But we're kind of in a hurry. And so I really don't want to do McDonald's or anything like that. Is there, anything here?" "Well, what kind of food do you like?" "Well, I like Italian food. I like, I don't know. I love Chinese food." "Oh, you know what? Okay, are you in a hurry or do you have time to sit down?" "Well, I'm kind of in a hurry." "Okay, so would like a buffet work for you?" "Absolutely, that would be perfect. That way we don't have to wait on a meal. We could go up there and eat. You know what? There's this great Chinese buffet. It's called Buffet King. Make the corner." Do you see how easy that was? But the first time you was recommending a Mexican restaurant, but when you asked a few more questions and realized that wasn't for me, it's like, oh, maybe this Chinese buffet would be for you. Guys, I hope this helps. The 4 words, how do you mean? It's a great way to get them to open up about the picture in their mind. So use this. It will help you tremendously in all areas of your business, even in your life, just in general. When somebody says something, just say, well, how do you mean? Doesn't always work, okay? There's situations that maybe that doesn't work good for, and that's okay. But use this. It's just another tool in your toolbox. So I hope this helps you. Make sure to like this page. Share this page with friends, family members, and team members. Guys, what we're asking you to do is help us to build a community so we can help you build an empire. Thanks, guys.